Alice Starkey, an obscure British painter, is accused of obtaining £20,000 by deception from Walter Lander, a wealthy American collector, for a painting purporting to be the Bacchus of Benedetto Trovato of the Venetian school. Antonio Sforza, secretary to the Duc de Severin, has announced that the real Bacchus hangs in his master's private collection in Provence. Leading critic Quentin Brooke, called by the prosecution, has given it as his opinion that the Bacchus Alice Starkey sold to Lander is a patent forgery. Miss Starkey, for her part, maintained that she bought the painting in a job lot of canvases during an Italian tour and passed it on as a Trovato in good faith. Arthur James Goody, an art restorer and expert on canvases, has just made a rather startling claim concerning the painting which Alice Starkey sold to Walter Lander. Exhibit 1.
Oh, yes, there can be no doubt about it, sir. My examination of the materials of the painting marked Exhibit 1 proved quite conclusively it's of modern origin. I doubt if it's 7 years old.
Your Honour, I introduce Mr. Goody's report on the painting in question as Exhibit 3.
Well, is this an agreed document?
Yes, Your Honour, we have seen it. It is agreed.
Mr. Goody, will you now tell the court the nature of the test you conducted on the painting, Exhibit 1?
Well, the test's a bit complicated to explain to a layman, but basically in a case like this, we make use of two sorts, chemical and X-ray.
Well, firstly, can you explain the purpose of the chemical tests?
Well, these tell you things about the paint that's been used, the materials on the canvas generally. I mean, a particular pigmentation will often identify a particular period in art. Then old paint has certain qualities of friability and hardness that can be measured. We can work out roughly how long it's been there.
And the X-ray tests?
Well, these help you to see below the surface layer of paint, and so determine if the artist has painted over an earlier painting. It also reveals the nature of the fabric of the canvas. The exact composition of the fibre is of some moment. Then there are the cleats that may have been used to fix the canvas, the nature of the joins of the wood, if that's original, and so on.
Now, these tests, they were quite adequate.
Oh, yes, there can be no doubt about it. They prove quite conclusively that an 18th century canvas had been used. The Bacchus has been painted over an earlier portrait of an Italian nobleman. Well, as for the chemical test, well, after some difficulty, they revealed we were dealing with modern materials, too.
How do you mean, after some difficulty?
Well, there'd been a most interesting attempt to reproduce 16th century Venetian colour tones with contemporary dyes. The artist responsible for this forgery had gone to great care to achieve 16th century colour tones. Now, I believe this had been done by extracting pigments from natural minerals such as lapis lazuli for blue. Most interesting. Most interesting. Also, the paint had been carefully aged. Now, this is done by subjecting it to a series of baking processes. Now, Weber was responsible for this, and if he'd just taken a little bit more care, I mean, the truth might never have been known.
Can you think of any other reason why such processes should be used, other than a desire to make the picture look old?
No. It looks like a forgery. In the great tradition, if I may say so.
Thank you, Mr. Goody.
Mr. Goody, would it, in your view, have taken a skilled artist to achieve this forgery?
Well, certainly somebody who knew what he was doing, yes.
A clever artist, perhaps?
Well, clever's hardly the word. It's a special sort of gift, this sort of thing. A sort of photographic technique which some people just seem to be born with. It's entirely professional.
Professional?
Oh, yes, entirely so.
You mean the forger is professional?
Recognisably so.
I see. Then it could not have been achieved by someone with no previous experience who, wanting to make a bit of money, thought, I'll knock up a Trovato and see what I can get for it.
No, that's out of the question. It's a professional job.
Thank you, Mr. Goody. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Mr. Goody. You may stand down.
And it is at this point, Your Honour, that I wish to recall Antonio Sforza.
Antonio Sforza, please.
I must remind you that you're still under oath, Signor Sforza.
Signor Sforza, you have testified that you are secretary to the Duc de Severin and have special responsibility for his estates and possessions in Chateau Grandy, Provence. Can you detail your duties for us, please?
Well, His Excellency is now a very elderly man, and I am virtually responsible for all his affairs.
For everything?
Well, he has no children, so somebody is necessary to manage things for him.
You'd be responsible for the vineyards, then?
The vineyards? But yes.
And for the Duke's private collection of paintings?
That is one of my more pleasurable duties.
This collection is what is known as jealously guarded, isn't it, Signor?
Well, His Excellency is perhaps a little, I think you would say, obsessional about this. He spent a lifetime building up a collection and, alas, allows very few people to see it.
It comprises how many paintings?
45.
And the Bacchus by Benedetto Trovato, is that one of his more prized possessions?
Well, that's important, of course, but I think its real value lies in the fact that it was the first Trovato ever to come to light. His Excellency first heard of his discovery in Venice in 1965 and at once arranged for his purchase. And I remember at that time thinking he was making a mistake. But once again he demonstrated his unique flair. He is truly one of the great collectors.
Were reproductions of the Bacchus ever made?
Oh, no. His Excellency has always refused to permit copies of his paintings.
Signor Sforza, 2 seasons ago now, at the time of the grape harvest, did you supervise the management of additional labor for the vineyards?
Yes, I did.
Is there somebody in this court who was employed in the vineyards at that time?
There is.
Would you identify him or her, please?
It is the accused, Miss Alice Starkey.
You were saying that the accused took work as a grape picker at Chateau Grandy in the season of 2 seasons ago.
Yes, representing herself as a school teacher on vacation.
A school teacher?
Yes.
At harvest time, you must have to deal with dozens of new people. Why is it you remember Miss Starkey so clearly?
Because while she was at Chateau Grandy, her conduct was reported to me.
Oh, don't tell me what you heard, just what you did.
Well, I saw her, and I asked her what she had been doing in the picture collection.
Did she deny she'd been there?
No. So I reprimanded her and told her that she was not to go into the collection again. But 2 days later, I saw her there myself, and this time with a camera.
Camera?
Yes.
What did you do then?
Well, I dismissed her immediately because it's absolutely forbidden to take photographs.
Did you discover which paintings Miss Starkey was photographing?
No. I merely destroyed the whole film.
Now, Signor Sforza, Miss Starkey was discovered in the picture gallery on 2 occasions, and in 1 instance at least, with a camera.
That is so.
Thank you, Signor.
Signor Sforza, as you've already pointed out, His Excellency, the Duke de Severin, is regarded as one of the great collectors of modern times in the world of art.
Yes.
Yet also as profoundly eccentric, ungenerous, criminally selfish, and is heavily criticized for not letting more people see his collection of paintings. Isn't that so?
Well, he is an elderly man.
He is called reactionary, a survival of feudalism, living in the past.
That is a matter of opinion, is it not?
So a person wanting to see the collection would have to get in by stealth, wouldn't they?
Yes, they would, because only His Excellency's closest friends are permitted to see the paintings.
Now, the film, Signor Sforza, the film that you took from Alice Starkey's camera when you encountered her in the gallery. Yeah. Now, you say you don't know what was on it.
No, I simply destroyed it.
So there might have been nothing on it, then?
But there must have been something on it.
Why?
Because she must have had a reason for bringing a camera into the gallery. And also she'd probably taken other films besides the one which I destroyed.
Did you see Miss Starkey take a photograph?
Not actually see her.
So you do not know if she took a photograph in the collection?
Not for certain, no.
Thank you, Signor Sforza. No further questions, Your Honor.
Signor Sforza, have you ever encountered intruders in the picture gallery before?
Oh, I believe there was once a drunken peasant, but after that, no one.
So there aren't long lines of practicing painters with cameras clamoring to get in?
Hardly.
Would you say it would require a determined and indeed subtle effort to get into that picture gallery?
I most certainly would, because the whole estate is most closely guarded.
Thank you, Senor.